Hello, I'm Blackbright and I'm broadcasting out of the east of England. Welcome to my channel. If it's the first time you're passing through, what I tend to do is acquaint myself with news releases and videos that come up. And today, because I'm subscribed to the UK Immigration and Visa Service, they had a headline. It said, breaking news, there will be no NHS healthcare for illegal immigrants. And I'm like, why would that be breaking news? That's a given. The same way they can't access housing, they can't access banking, they can't access benefits, they can't access jobs, they can't access DVLA for driving, and they can't access healthcare. So I'm thinking, why would they put that headline today? I mean, it was 6 o'clock this evening. So I'm thinking to myself, there has to be something new. Not unless, well, maybe they have been allowing people to use the services who haven't, and they're going to be more stringent. I just don't understand why it's breaking news when the hostile environment policy came out. It was made very, very clear. And that's why some of those Windrush people actually died, because they were unable to access health services. Why it's headline news today. Anyway, I kind of typed up what the transcript was. And so I'm going to share that with you. And then I'm going to put my little 2p worth in as I go along, as you know I usually do. And for my existing subscribers, thank you for your likes, thank you for your comments, thank you for sticking with me. Okay, the UK government have made it a top priority to deny NHS services to illegal immigrants, stating it seems quite harsh. Now, why does it seem quite harsh? They're taking away everything that they need, housing, homes, and they're saying it's quite harsh to deny them access to the NHS. And I don't get it. Somebody tell me what I'm missing here. Anyway, they're blaming it on restricted capacity and resources. But surely, if somebody's illegal in the country, they're just not entitled to it. Why do they have to have an excuse to deny them from NHS services? What I'm wondering is, you know that regardless of your immigration status, you can have access to A&E outpatients. I wonder if that's what they're not going to give them. I think that's probably what it is, because before they could at least get access to A&E services. So let's see what else they were saying. They're blaming it on restricted capacity and resources, but surely, I've already said that. According to NHS rules, there are 3 types of payment for treatment. Those who have gone through immigration control and have paid additional charges for NHS, I think they mean the immigration health surcharge. I don't know if there are other additional charges during their visa process, and they will receive free medical treatment as long as their visa is valid. Now, how can it be free if they have to pay in advance? If they have to pay £624 a year health surcharge, I have to double check that. But anyway, they've got to pay health surcharge every year. So how can it be free? It's not free. Some of them might not even use it. So it's not free. It's just like insurance. Really? I don't know why they don't call it health insurance. Because you pay it up front just in case you need it. If you don't need it, you lose it. It's not like you get it back. Those who come under the ordinarily resident category are eligible to receive free NHS treatment in the UK. These would be those who are legally in the country under indefinite leave to remain. That's the only way under this you qualify. Pre-settled status? No. Leave to remain? No. There is the term ordinarily resident and ordinary resident. They sound very similar. Ordinarily resident is a concept in the law of the United Kingdom which affects entitlement to the National Health Service. For this, you will be able to show utility bills in your name, council tax bills, tenancy agreements, child tax credit if applicable, children's UK birth certificates if applicable, bank statements showing regular activity such as cash withdrawals, pay slips, P60, letter from employer, or letter for education, and they should cover the relevant years requested. Now, ordinary residence is the place where a person resides in the ordinary course of his or her day-to-day life, lawfully. And that, like I said, means settled status or indefinite leave to remain. And because it's lawfully, I would assume is very similar to the ordinarily resident, in that you'd have to provide evidence, like those documents I mentioned before. Someone who has ordinary residence is qualified to work and live in the UK with no restrictions and can receive healthcare and hospital treatment. Note, ordinary resident does not depend on your nationality, whether you are registered with a GP, whether you own a property in the UK, have an NHS number, or paying NHS contributions or taxes. So, you can own a house, you can be paying taxes, you can have an NHS number, but you still are not ordinary resident. Because remember, people on pre-settled status have those same privileges. And so do some people on leave to remain. So what they're saying is, if you're on leave to remain, you're not secure. So really and truly, you shouldn't be buying up houses and doing all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so you might think, oh, because I've got my NHS number, because I'm working, because I own a property in the UK, I'm a resident. I'm an ordinary resident. No, you're not. The only people who are ordinary residents are those with indefinite leave to remain or settled status. So, visitors and illegal migrants have to pay for most of their medical treatment. People applying to enter the UK and stay for more than 6 months must pay the immigration health surcharge, except Irish nationals. Paying the immigration health surcharge qualifies the applicant to receive NHS healthcare, just like legal residents. However, they will still have to pay on top for prescriptions, dentistry, assisted conception charges, just like we all do. Now, the accident and emergency outpatient and GP medical care in A&E departments, outpatients, and at GP surgeries remains free for all, irrespective of nationality, immigration status, and ordinary residence. And then it says, they are not important for... No, let me read that all in one sentence because it's important. The intonation here is important. Accident and emergency outpatients and GP medical care in A&E department outpatients and at GP surgeries remain free for all, irrespective of nationality, immigration status, and ordinary residence, are not important for registration, as it should not be refused on those grounds. So, very, very cleverly worded, because what I understand from this, because I was trying to understand why that's there. And what I think it means is registration should not be refused on the grounds of nationality, immigration status, and ordinary residence. So it says at the beginning, it remains free for all. Then it says well, the nationality immigration status are not important for registration. So your nationality isn't important, immigration status isn't important, and whether or not you're ordinarily resident. It's not important for registration. Registration just means you go to the GP, you want to register for a GP, or you go to the A&E and you register, you've been in an accident, you want to see somebody. That registration, they can't discriminate against you based on your nationality and based on whether you're an illegal immigrant. So you might think that means that you can still get access to A&E, or you can still get free treatment. It doesn't mean that. It just means you can register. They're not going to say you can't register, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be treated. You may be. Might be your lucky day. But from what I understand it, and you need to check it with an immigration lawyer, to me it means you can register, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have access to those services like you did before. But I think that's where they've come down a bit more harsh. And I think that is why they're saying it is a bit harsh, because I think what they're saying is that even if you're at death's door, if you're an illegal immigrant, you're not going to be seen. That's putting it a bit harshly, but I can't interpret it any other way. The NHS is based on a resident system, although it hasn't been, well, I don't think it's always been strict adopting that premise. So now, those who are not ordinary resident in the UK, including former UK residents and former UK nationals, will be considered overseas visitors. So now, whereas before you could bask, you've retired, you bask in Barbados, you bask in Spain, and for 6 months, and then when you feel like it or when you feel sick, you come over to the UK. Oh, I'm a UK resident. I used to live in the UK. I've got my UK passport. I need some treatment. That's not going to work anymore. You no longer qualify. Once you've left the country and you're living elsewhere, you no longer qualify to have free healthcare. In fact, you're going to be penalised and pay 150% of the NHS charge. So, it's not going to be attractive coming back. Are you going to want to come back if you can't get the healthcare? Maybe that's all you were coming back for. Maybe you thought, okay, I don't mind living in Barbados, I don't mind living in Jamaica, I don't mind living in Spain, but when I get sick, I need to come back to England, take advantage of their brilliant health service. You won't be able to do that, my dears. That's my interpretation. Need to get it clarified. Like I said, I'm not an immigration lawyer. I'm just offering information and giving you my opinion. So, former UK residents and former UK nationals will be considered overseas visitors for purpose of NHS healthcare and will be billed for NHS services calculated at 150% of this NHS rate. The authority to charge comes from Section 175 of the National Health Service Act 2006, and the rules are present in the NHS Health Service Charges to Overseas Visitors Regulations 2015 as amended. Since 2017, the NHS trusts have been charging beforehand for treatments that are not urgent to make sure that urgent or immediately necessary treatment is provided, whether or not the individual is able or willing to pay for that treatment beforehand. Maternity care comes under immediately necessary treatment. Now, I don't quite understand this because it's saying, since 2017, the NHS trusts have been charging beforehand for treatments that are not urgent. to make sure that urgent or immediately necessary treatment is provided. I don't know if that's the IH. The thing is, I don't know if that's the IHS. I don't know if they're charging a different amount. I don't know who they're charging since 2017. But whoever they're charging in advance, beforehand for treatment that are not urgent, it has to be the IHS. Oh, I don't know. Don't know when the IHS came into force. But anyway, what they're saying now is, however, what can be labelled as immediately necessary or urgent is now subject to debate. So whereas you were paying, or these people who've been paying beforehand, I don't know if it's the IHS, I don't know if there's something else, but whatever it is they're paying beforehand, just in case they need the service, what this is saying is that you might think something is urgent, you might think it's immediately necessary, but if they don't think so, it's up to them. Yeah. What can be labelled as immediately necessary or urgent is now subject to debate. So they can now debate on what they consider is urgent or immediately necessary. However, they've confirmed that maternity care comes under immediately necessary. So that will be, that you're okay with that one. So, with regard to, well, I think it is the immigration health surcharge, to be honest, because it says there are exceptions to this, which they're talking about the immigration health surcharge. An overseas visitor may not be charged if they have been subjected to specific types of threatening situations, such as torture, female genital mutilation, domestic and sexual violence, treatment for infectious diseases specified in the regulations, treatment of sexually transmitted diseases or infections, family planning services, and treatment for coronavirus. So, exempt from, I don't know if it's IHS or it's this fee that they're talking about. It is really weird how sometimes they're so clear and sometimes they're quite vague. But anyway, one more thing, if you have a debt of £500 or more, an NHS debt based on, you haven't paid your NHS fee for a previous treatment, this could be a reason for visa refusal on general grounds. They're not going to allow you a visa if you haven't paid an NHS debt, i.e. you've accessed the services, you've taken advantage of the services, they billed you, and you haven't paid. Don't bother to apply to come to the UK. And that's all for now. Bye-bye.